Now, it's been more than 20 years since our next guest made a promise that would change a little boy's life forever.
Yeah. While deployed in Bosnia, Sergeant Wayne Ingram met 4-year-old Stefan whose rare facial deformity put his life totally at risk.
Now, after vowing to help, Wayne raised tens of thousands of pounds to bring Stefan to London for life-changing surgery.
And after 5 major operations, Stefan has not only made a full recovery, but is now a thriving 27-year-old.
And he's opening up now about the incredible story in a new book. Wayne joins us now. Wayne, it's so lovely to meet you. What a man you are.
Oh, amazing to meet you too. Thank you.
It is an absolute pleasure. So, Wayne, let's get a bit of the backstory.
Yeah.
How did you even know about Stefan? What was you up to? What was you doing? What was your background?
So I'd gone back to Bosnia in 2003, as you said. I really didn't want to be there. I've been there a few times before. We went to an area called Lattarzi, and I was given an area, and they said, will you please try and get as many weapons as possible off the streets?
Right.
10 years past, when the war started.
So you were working as a peacekeeper, were you?
Yeah, peacekeeper British Army.
Right.
So we went to this, these different places. We're speaking to different people, and I was supposed to have the meeting with the chief of police, who's the most elusive person ever. Every time I turned up, he wasn't there, or he'd go somewhere else. So I had turned up earlier than planned. He saw me. He ran out the back building, and I chased him. But not being an SAS type of guy that I am, I fell over the curb, rolled into the dust on the floor.
And then the Benny Hill thing.
I've got away with this. And also I heard 2 boys laughing behind me, and it was the Minister of Defence and Milos. Right. Milos was Stefan's father. So I thought, OK, I'm going to have a coffee, a coffee with these 2. Went upstairs, had a coffee, and they said, look, have you seen this? Show me the picture of Stefan, and my heart was taken straight away. Yeah,
and I mean, that photo, it was incredibly heartbreaking to see that photo of him straight away, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they said that they could have the operation done in France, but at a cost which was, I think, about £27,000, and there's no way they could have afforded that.
No.
They said, look, is there any chance you can do anything? British Army was really, really good at hearts and minds. It's probably the best army in the world. So initially I said, yeah, I can do that. Went back, had to go permission through all the senior ranking officers. But they actually said to me at the time, be careful, this is going to be a gargantuan task. I was like, no, it won't, it'll be easy.
What, fundraising? So for the operation?
Yeah, well, I didn't realise it was going to take 13 years because, you think it's going to be the main operation, just one operation. It didn't. It ended up being 5 operations.
5
My goodness. Was it painful for him then? Can you just explain, the deformities that he had on his face and what it was doing to him?
So he had a facial cleft. So so his nose was protruded through the front, which pushed his eyes further apart. We didn't realise at the time that when we had the scans done, that he had a hole in his skull. Well, he had 2 holes in his skull, so he would have contracted meningitis at the time, and his nasal airway wasn't formed properly.
And this was only progressively going to get worse for him.
Yeah, it would have ended his life, unfortunately. So we set about this task. The first thing we did was we organised a football match with the locals, but what I did, I made sure that all the post-war infractions were on one sign.
Right.
So there was Serbs, Croats, Muslims. I was put in goal, being an ex-rugby player, to cut down on the penalty count. We lost 7-2, but we raised €6,000. We did other things around the camp. I went home and was cooking barbecues outside the local Asda, rattling tins at the end of the till. So it was a constant effort.
So how much did you raise all in all then, Wayne?
So over the 13 years, about £160,000.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but he came back for 5 private operations.
So he had the operations over here?
Yeah, so he had 4 in Great Ormond Street and then 1 in Portland. Now, I will say that Professor David Dunaway, CBE, who was the guy who operated him, never once charged a single penny.
That's amazing.
Oh,
he gave it all for free. He's the most amazing man. When you meet him, if you were ever to meet him, he's like your uncle, grandfather and father all rolled into one. He's the most amazing man ever.
When did you actually first meet Stefan? Obviously, you'd seen the photo and you got into
about
his
2 weeks
story.
later,
right,
we arranged to go up to the house. And again, we rocked up in our little tanks and we all jumped off. 12 soldiers jumped off, and then Stefan came running over towards me and fell over. And it was like we just like, intake of breath, and he got up and smiled, came over, gave me a kiss. But the love from the family has been unquestionable the whole time.
And what were you like every time you went into surgery, Wayne?
A nervous wreck.
Yeah.
So I knew I had mental health problems, but I didn't want to admit to it. And this just brought out my emotions more and more because you were told that for the main operation he could potentially die, he could have his become blind and so forth. So I was thinking about this all the time, and the closer the operation came, I was going home and going back to the hotel and just crying.
Yeah. Well, you've obviously got a lot of baggage in your own head from the job that you've done. You know, you speak openly in the book about PTSD and things like that. It's an emotional time because, one, you're doing something for someone else, which is amazing, but at the end of this story, there's a little boy there that's going through a life-threatening surgery, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't realise. I mean, I knew how bad it was, but I never realised just what the parents, what Slava and Milos went through until our own daughter was diagnosed with scoliosis. And she had this 6-hour operation to insert 2 titanium rods. And, of course, when they're doing it, they were saying, well, Freya could be paralysed. Yeah. She could die. So, of course, as parents, you sat there thinking, crikey, what's happening?
Oh, my goodness.
And that's the first time I was able to put my feet in their shoes.
You do talk a lot about your mental health and your PTSD, but how was it right in the book then? Because you're bringing up all these old memories. What was that like for you?
So the book was really therapeutic. However, and as we said earlier, there were parts in it where it took you back to a dark place.
Yeah.
But with support of a really, really close family. I mean, when I went through the PTSD before I was diagnosed, I put my family, my parents, Glenn and Brenda, I put them through hell. Purely because I had this emotion inside me, and you don't know what to do. If you have this emotion, you think you're weak. The way we look at it is we're all broken crayons, but even a broken crayon can work right up until the last moment when it stops. Yeah. And that's what I was trying to do. But I had this breakdown in 2008. Lucky enough, I was a retained firefighter at the time as well as being a paramedic. And it was all the stuff that I was going through, seeing as a firefighter, seeing as a paramedic, that just made the pot burst, really. So fire brigade said, look, OK, you're off. Yeah. Put me through the EMDR.
But look at all the wonderful things you've done. I mean, how's Stefan now? Sorry, right?
No, I was going to say, and got an MBA as well for fundraising, rightly so.
So I've done a few fundraising events. So I spent a week surviving in a life raft. Oh, wow. Walked 76 miles backwards with a...
Backwards?
Backwards. Well, because it was for...
I'll have a day off, Wayne.
Mate, honestly, what? I know, yeah, so I walked backwards for scoliosis.
76 miles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Every step was
Did you fall over a lot? Or?
I fell over right at the very end.
You fall over quite a lot, don't you, Wayne? I had to learn that.
Well, it's a good job you did fall over, otherwise you wouldn't have met Stefan.
A friend of mine, Mick, he was walking behind me and I was walking backwards, so he was steering me. And I only fell over right at the very end when we got to the hospital and the TV said, look, can you do a retake? And I did a retake and fell over.
And how is Stefan now? Do you keep in touch with him?
Yeah, all the time. I see him whenever I can. So he's very good. He's 27 years of age. He plays the organ. He plays synthesizers in a folk band that goes around Bosnia.
Amazing.
He's just really talented.
And he's living his life. Thanks
to
you.
Living his life. Yeah, we keep in contact all the time.
Good.
How's your daughter, Wayne, quickly?
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she had the operation. She had 2 titanium rods fitted. Scoliosis is a thing that needs to be brought to attention. That's why I'm giving all the royalties from the sale of it to scoliosis research.
Amazing.
And can I say, you can get it on Pen and Sword or Amazon.
Well, look, we've got it here. It's Soldier of Conscience, from fighting the IRA to battling PTSD. Wayne Ingram, MBE, and rightly so. It's out now. What a story you've had, and what an amazing man you are, Wayne. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.